what's up, guys? I just made this little whack beat on here, and I'm kind of playing around on here. I just wanted to record this. It's kind of cool, so check it out.
What's up, guys? Poli Popo here, and I want to show you guys something that's really cool. I've been sampling a lot of sounds lately. What's up, guys? Poli Popo here, and I want to show you guys something that's really cool. I've been sampling a lot of sounds lately.
Hello? Yeah, wait. Headphones. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. I can see you nice and clear as well. Let me just put you on the... It should start recording now on Skype.
Alright, cool.
How was the kickoff? How was the kickoff yesterday?
That's about all I made money off of was the kickoff. I knew that they were going to kick a ball, and that was about it. I figured, I love Kansas City. I'm a big Kansas City fan. But when you're going up against, Brady, you got to really have respect for the man. He's been there 10 times. He wasn't even sweating. And then the size of those dudes on the other team, it was like they had two people to their one. They were just outpowered them, completely. But the Chiefs did a good job, but not good enough, that's for sure. The other team was way stronger. But, we saw that coming. It's like having LeBron in a basketball game. You know what's going to happen.
Announcer jinxes. Here's Brady's pass. It's Gronkowski! Back again! The biggest tandem for touchdowns now in postseason history. The old Patriot teammates reunite in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Audio broke up a little bit on me. Are you still there? Yeah, you're stuck. Right, man. Pleasure talking to you.
It's always good to get the audio check and everything here first. We'll give this time to buff out and get that signal nice and clear.
You're in your studio, yeah? Is it in the basement?
Oh yeah, I'm always down here every second that I can. It's what I like to do. I mean, since I was like 4 years old, man, and whenever I came up to my first piano, it was at the top of the stairs. I could barely see over the desk, and I finally decided, well, I'm gonna turn this thing on. And when I saw that little bitty power button, that's the only light that was on this thing, was the power button. Like now you got lights on every single device that you got. As soon as I saw that little light turn on, I had to find out how it worked and everything. I saw the plug in the wall, and I'm like, man, this is really, really legit. And then I hit a key, and a noise came out, and I was like, yeah, this is awesome, man. So I started listening to music, you know, little songs that you hear on cartoons and stuff. I would go up to the keyboard, and I'd be like, dude, I'll sit there and try to play those same little jingles, and they would come out. And that's the same thing my little girl does. My daughter does the same thing now. She runs into her room and does the same thing. I think it's really, really dope.
Can you tell me now, you live in Missouri, yeah? Did you grow up there or?
I've been in and out of Missouri for quite a while now. Actually, I've been through Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma is where I was actually born. But I could say I'm native to Missouri. It's homeland to me. I'm not gonna say it's too bad, but I've been to Blue Springs, Springfield, Arnold, St. Louis. South St. Louis was probably the best for me. I really, really liked South St. Louis. Been here since I was probably 6 years old. Blue Springs, Missouri, and then I moved to Fenton, Arnold, and then I came in to St. Louis and never left. I left for about 3 years. I went to Wichita, Kansas, and it was a pretty cool story. When I was in Wichita, Kansas, just so happened to live with 5 minor league baseball players. Carlos Beltran was one of them. He was playing for the Wichita Wranglers at the time, and just rolled around with a dude, be like, this is the kind of cologne you want to buy, man. He gave me his official Rookies jacket, printed his name on it, and dude barely spoke any English, and it was really cool seeing him come up like that. And he knew my mom and everybody like that. They pay respect, you know, real cool dude, real top notch. And there were 4 other dudes. One, Santiago, he played for Yankees. He was one of the catchers for the Yankees, so that was pretty dope too. But no, I had to leave there because if it wasn't for those guys, I had to leave because it was like going into the past, dude. There was, even in school, I was like, at 9th grade, they were teaching what was in 5th grade. I was like, no, dude, I gotta get out of here. So, and the wind, it was so cold. And I'm Puerto Rican, I don't like wind or cold. So Missouri is right in the middle. You know, you're not from New York where you're from the future, and you're not from, you know, you're not in the past where things are a little too, it's right in the middle, and your money's kind of valuable here too. You can get a lot for your money, so it's not a bad place to open up a business or start a family, that's for sure. It's right in the middle of the United States, you know, it's a gateway. That's why the arch is there. It's, everybody has to, if you're coming through the States, you have to pass through St. Louis, so there's nothing to really stare at. And as far as, you know, the city, it's always empty unless there's a ball game or something. It's one of those cities that nobody really ever, you know, you see other cities and people live in it, but not in St. Louis. They live in the county and then they work in the city and then they drive home. So,
is there any stereotype about Missourians?
a stereotype? I would say guns and God. It's almost like we're a little bitty Texas in Missouri, except, you know, we have pistols, not shotguns, and we drive cars like BMWs and Camaros, not pickup trucks. You know, we got the same thing going on, you know, we're in the same bloodline.
Beans, Bible, and bullets.
Guns and God, that's what it is.
Nice one, nice one. Very unusual in Europe. People don't carry guns. You don't see guns. Where I live in Ireland, even police, they don't carry a gun. Like,
but did they just start hitting you?
What did you tell me? What am I to tell you? Shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. I'm shutting anyone's mouth by you.
is there anything in the back of the van?
Have a look there, it's fucking open. Didn't I said look in, I didn't say get in the fucking van, did I? This fella, he's the one that told us to shut him out.
You're calling him a fucking wanker.
Yeah, cause did you hear what he called me? You fucking for real. Get out of me van. Get the fuck out of me van.
Tell me about your business. How long are you making pizza for? How that started for you?
Oh man, it goes back to that Kansas thing, man. You're breaking my heart here. I gotta keep reliving this going back to Wichita. I was in the ninth grade, and like I say, in school, they were teaching the same thing over and over. I dealt with it. I was in the ROTC. I really, really liked that, and I did really good at it. I did like aerospace science engineering course and all that. But the next year, it was like they were going to teach the same thing just to make sure we remembered it. I'm like, dude, these are like the exact books that we had last year. And they were like, just take the class. So I'm like, I got to get out of here. So I dropped out. I stole my brother's truck. I went to Pizza Hut and I applied. I told the lady I knew everything and anything there was about pizza and blah, 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 which I kind of did because growing up, my dad raised us in a pizzeria. So I know how pizzerias work. I know the smell, calzones, all that stuff. I was brought up in bowling alleys and pizzerias, bro. I just, whenever I went to Pizza Hut, of course, I had a background of little knowledge of the terminology and what to use, like pizza and pepperoni, and I know how to run a table. And she's like, okay, come on. I'm like, all right. She goes, go. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. But she, God bless her, man, Karen, she trained me. And from that day forward, I just went to work and I hustled and hustled. I'm like, I can just do this. But my dad had got diagnosed with cancer. That's the whole reason why I moved to Wichita, Kansas. He had gone to Oklahoma where they have like top-notch doctors for this stuff. And he is cured and everything's great. And I work with him every day. Like, this is a beautiful thing. It's like when he came back, I happened to come back that same weekend. This wasn't planned, and we bumped backs at a party. From that day, we stuck it out, and we're like, this is what's going to happen. We're going to do this and this and this. And with God's hand, and man, we were just cooking pizzas in our basement. I just come back from cleaning up, a market, used to sweep floors and stuff. This dude came over, and he tried our pizza, and he's like, what are you guys doing? Like, you want to sell this? We're like, yeah, dude, it's been a dream of ours to always have a pizzeria. Sure enough, he's like, look for a spot. Put it on there. I'm like, we found a spot right on Delmar in University City. Like, are you kidding me? And we've been there 18 years since that. Selling pizza by the slice, calzones, strombolis. I mean, you name it, man. And don't get Pops excited. He'll make something special.
Selling pizza by the slice, calzones, strombolis. I mean, you name it, man. And don't get Pops excited. He'll make something special. And don't get Pops excited. He'll make something special. And don't get Pops excited. He'll make something special.
Is your father still working with you?
Every morning we see each other. We're in the cars. He's got a 2019 Challenger that I want to put on my channel because he just supercharged it, and he likes driving fast, and it's good fun time, good clean fun. And yeah, one thing I do like about that, owning your own business is, you're not going to make a whole lot of money the first few years and all that, but if you're doing what you love and you enjoy it, then it really doesn't matter. But the main point is I get to spend time with my family, every day. And I know what I'm doing benefits me every day, not somebody else. I'd recommend it to anybody. Just get out there, and all you got to do is do it, man. That's what we're doing. We're just sitting here doing it, dude. It's like, we're getting rich doing this, but we're out there doing it. And it's like, you ask yourself, how am I being successful? It's like, you're already being successful. You're here. You're here doing this. It's something that I always dreamed of being a kid, being on TV or making sounds and all that. It was like, it's all right here, right now, doing it. It's awesome. It's really cool. Everything business-wise. I'd recommend it to anybody. Just get out there, and all you got to do is do it, man. That's what we're doing. We're just sitting here doing it, dude. It's like, we're getting rich doing this, but we're out there doing it. And it's like, you ask yourself, how am I being successful? It's like, you're already being successful. You're here. You're here doing this. It's something that I always dreamed of, being a kid, being on TV or making sounds and all that. It was like, it's all right here, right now, doing it. It's awesome. It's really cool. Everything business-wise. What's good, guys? Poli Popo here. Hey, what's good, guys? Poli Popo here. I'm glad to be on the channel today.
What's up, guys? Poli Popo here, and I wanted to share this moment with you guys.
Can you tell me Your name was the Poli. It's because of Paul. At one time, I thought maybe because of polyphony.
You know, I never thought of that, but I could have incorporated that in my YouTube name.
What's the Popo stands for?
Popo is, like I said, my family and in my bloodline, I have Puerto Rican, so everybody calls me Popo. My friends call me Popo. It's a good way for them to find me on the channel. It's something that always stuck with me, is Poli Popo. But nothing to do with polyphonic synth, even though it seems that all I play are polyphonic synths.
It goes well now, like, you know, poly might still stand for polyphonic, like, you know.
Yeah, I just like the channel be just about me, you know. I mean, I don't want to brand it anything else. I never really thought about it, so some people are like, hey, you know, why don't you brand it something music or something? It's like, I might put a picture of my dog on there one day, you know, do something. You don't know what I'm gonna do. It'll pertain to music somehow.
Do you have a dog?
I do. A couple days ago was my old dog. She passed away. She had severe hip cancer, man. It was a rough day the other day. But this little guy, dude, he's like he keeps you so busy that it doesn't really. He's like a German Shepherd bloodhound, like lab mix. I don't know how that happened, but that's what's going on. He's pretty fun. So he's just turned a year old or half a year old, but he's a good little boy. Always good to have something love you no matter what, right or wrong. Whenever you come home, it's just like right on. Kind of forget about everything for a second.
Let's go back again to your music passion and for music creation. So you said when you were little, and how that progressed. When did you learn to play keyboards and guitars? And
I started with a little Casio keyboard. I went through all the sounds on it. It had 16 sounds on the keyboard itself. So I thought, well, maybe I'll make a song with each one of those sounds. It's like I could hear in a movie. I'm like, oh, they use this in this movie. They use this in this movie. I could play this song with these bells. So I would play every song, and then I would go, well, what if I push any key? If I can push, I used to bet my friend. I used to tell him, dude, you can push any key on the keyboard, and I'll start a song from that key and play it back. So it was just something that I practiced back and forth. It was a game for me. Piano is definitely my main instrument. Even though I don't play it that well, I kind of get what's going on and I can get the melody out of it. So whenever I got into guitar, this guy named Tommy out in University City, I mean, he could play, man. Chinese dude with long hair, and he was like the Bruce Lee of guitar around here. He took me in and gave me 3 lessons and then left town. But he showed me a blues scale that he's basically explained to me. He saw me playing my keys and he goes, this is what you want to do. I'm like, best teacher in the world. I'm just like, he totally cut down all music theory for me. He goes, if you find your root note on the E string and you play this scale, every time you change, you're in. And so I was playing on the keys and he showed me and it just clicked. Now my daughter, she can be like, well, the clarinet's backwards on the guitar, or the clarinet. I'm just like, baby, I can't read notes. I can't read or write music. If I could, I would just sit down here and read and write in books all day long instead of, you know, have to make the sounds that are in my head. But that was really, really dope. So the first time I did that, I was like, well, now how do I record them both? Boss BR8. I had a Boss BR8 Roland 8-track recorder. And that's when foot pedals came in. I'm like, dude, I can change the sound of the guitar. And this stuff was just blowing my mind. Because, you know, at first it was just sounds coming from a keyboard. So now I'm getting into all these sounds. I'm like 10. And, well, maybe 12 years old when the Boss BR8 came out. And I got it. I plugged my guitar into it. And I recorded the guitar like Tommy showed me. And then I played the blues scale over it. And it worked, and I was just like, dude, it's like when something just works, you know, it was just awesome. So then I started adding keyboard, and little by little, I got into a Tascam where I could add more tracks and stuff, and then I started buying all kinds of gear, like, you know, gear junkie style, dude. I was like, Korg this, Korg that. and it was all good stuff. I had the MPC 2000 XL. If I would have known about the 2000 XL when I first started making music, I remember my buddy from St. Charles. If you get one of them things with the pads on it, he was talking about the MPC 100 or the 1000 or 500 or something back in the day. But I had no idea what the workflow was, and so I went and got an RS 7000, a Yamaha, big old box. I didn't even know how to turn it on, dude. And by trial and error, and fumbling so many times, I learned how to use the gear that I want to use, and that's when I decided to go with MPC, the XL. And then the 5000 came out, and I was like, dude, no, I gotta grab that. But I noticed whenever I laid out the tracks, everything was beautiful. I could lay out my track sequence, and I was like, this is working. I could lay my guitar over it. Everything's finally working, and then it would start clipping out. When I added effects to it, I'm like, all right, so I tried the Renaissance. My computer, the power wouldn't handle it, so I'm just like striking out. The Live came out. I got the Live. I was like, okay, it was working, and then the X came out, and I'm just like, bet that, I'm getting that. Got the X, man, 3 years ago, and I haven't looked back, and I would buy it again in a heartbeat, even if they doubled the price on it, because without that, I can't do what I like to do with my sounds. It's allowed me to hook up CV gear, modular gear to my rig, to where I could make my own samples. The other day, I took a sample of a choir, and it was like low, mids, high, super low. It was like 5-6 different voices in a choir. That's the same thing that I do with all of my gear. I take the same track and I multiply it and make it nice and thick, for about 8 or 9 bars, and I can sample my own things. That's why I don't have to deal with things that really put producers down, like not getting your samples cleared. You're like, no, dude, I made these. So it's going to get cleared, it's going to get played, I will get my money for it. And that's exactly what I try to tell people on the channel too, is to kind of get into their own sounds, and really just now getting into it now.
No, I took your advice seriously, man. And I recently just put out a few songs that they were just there laying around, so I put them out because I've ordered keyboard. So when that comes in, I'm gonna start rocking my own sounds, and I love the advice you give, and the motivation and all that. It's fantastic, man. Love your channel, love your guitars. I've seen them and you present them. How many is there? At least 5, 6, is it?
Yeah, I like I said, I try to dabble in all the sounds. If, like I said, if you give me a blade of grass, I'll try to get a note out of it. Everything has a distinct sound. Like I have an acoustic, 6-string, a dove, which is my favorite. It's just an Epiphone, but it sounds just like a Gibson, you know. And all I need is that tone anyway, just a good guitar to give me the string. I got my electric guitars and my banjos, mandolins, my quattro. I try to get all those so I can sample the sounds this way. If somebody calls me and say, hey, I need a mandolin loop that goes like this, I can provide that in the future and do sound packs and stuff like that. But what's really got me now is not so much playing the guitars as, you know, like that reverb sound whenever you're in a concert hall, when somebody hits the piano and the notes are played and he lets go, but you still hear the ambience. Well, there's modules behind me that I can grab that reverb, that ambience, and find notes and fine tweak them and then play them on my keyboard. So really digging deep into sound design this year. I just love when I turn on stuff since day one and a light comes on. It just blows my mind. And these days, blink and all kinds of crazy stuff, man. So I'm definitely hooked on it. But I think I'm pretty much set up with everything. I have a little space left in my rack, but I think that's good in case if I want to interchange modules. It's really, there's like a whole new wave of music coming out called mod bap, and it's been out for a long time. It's just modular hip hop, and people are taking these modules and taking these loops. It's very expensive to get these boxes, but all they are the plugins that are in your MPC, you know, like Tube Synth. That's just one module, and if you hit those little tabs underneath the MPC screen, you see all those other things pop up. It's the same thing, but in hardware. I just got tired of using Tube Synth. I don't use a computer, so I make my own plugins, pretty much.
Nice one. I love MPCX, like, you know, it's amazing piece of device, like, you know, and I regret not getting it like years ago, you know. I should. Hello, you're there?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that last part came in real choppy, but yeah, dude.
So, what's your next equipment, like the dream equipment?
Honestly, I'm gonna go with acoustic panels. I need to treat my studio. That's one of my main flaws. If you hear in my videos, like the cameras are cool and everything like Cord, but as far as synthesizers, I'm set. I can make a violin, I can make a cello. Now that I know how those sounds work, especially on some of these modules, I have one that shows you like the waveform. So in the MPC, when you see a kick drum and you go to sample edit and you see that curve, all you gotta do is make the same curve on my modular thing without even hearing it. I can see it. Now I was like, there's your kick right there. And then you can just make an 808 out of it or whatever, sample it. And so I'm into making my own drums and adding little white noise to my 808s to make a 909. I'm doing my research on how to make specific types of drums now and how to beef them up, because me personally, for the last 600 videos that I've recorded, I load up the acoustic kit. It's the first kit on your MPC. You hit browse, drum kits is the first one. That's how excited I was. Every time I turn it on, I'm just like, drums. I was like, got me some drums, you know. But all the drums are good in there. But to be able to make anything your own, just even if it's a pizza and somebody appreciates it, I appreciate everything that they put in this box. You know, I hope the company knows that, you know, we appreciate everything that does work in the box. Just like whenever some customer comes to me and says, man, that was the best pizza I've had, and I'm from New York and blah, 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 or I just got off the plane and somebody told me to come here, I'm just like, it makes you feel good, you know, that's what it's all about. And being able to provide a sound for a future hip-hop artist, or even if it's a little bitty 8-bar loop, you can get paid big bucks if you register it the right way. And somebody's going to use it. There's only so many of us doing it. And if you put your music out, it's a lot better of a chance. Let's say there's 50,000 people doing what we're doing right now, today. That's not a lot of people doing it. It's not a lot of people doing it. So you got a shot. And we're not competing in the same lane. We're not putting out like music videos and trying to be on MTV or nothing. We're in our own lane doing our own thing quietly, you know, but steady passing traffic. And that's cool. That's what we do. What's up guys, Poli Popo here, and I want to show you guys something that's really, really cool. I've been sampling a lot of sounds lately. What's up guys, Poli Popo here, and I want to show you guys something that's really, really cool. I've been sampling a lot of sounds lately. What's up guys, Poli Popo here, and I want to show you guys something that's really, really cool. I've been sampling a lot of sounds lately. What's up guys, Poli Popo here, and I want to show you guys something that's really, really cool. I've been sampling a lot of sounds lately.